So we all are salesmen in one way or the other. We have to only realize and get out of our comfort zone, be vulnerable, and keep moving towards our targets and goals. As simple as that. And one of our
Very
unique
nice.
methodologies is no PPTs, because we strongly feel power corrupts, PowerPoint absolutely corrupts.
My God, I see a lot of resonance now. So great morning, audience. Today it's a pleasure for me to be talking to a person who has got multiple dimensions for me, all in positive direction. We are talking to Shyam Iyer, Mr. Shyam Iyer, who I recall as one of those, first people that I know about who actually had the courage of being in the field which they thought belongs to them. I don't want to use the word passion because it's a word which many people have been using every day. But Shyam, I truly believe in the fact that I think you are one of those first people. I'm talking about almost 1 decade ago.
Yeah.
Long before I started talking about purpose, passion, I started having some realizations based on which I started writing and coaching and speaking. Long before that, I recall having met somebody called Mr. Shyam Iyer. I think in 2012, 11, kind of those were the years, almost 10 years ago.
Correct.
When I got to know that he is a person who had so much of conviction and so much of passion for the field of facilitation, coaching, training, organizations, uplifting the level of organizations and people, that he decided to leave a very well-paying and very nice, great job, which was in the house of Tatas. I know how difficult it is for somebody to leave a job with Tatas because I have done it. Of course, I had made a movement to some other multinational. I was not as courageous as Shyam. That's one aspect of Shyam which I think of. The other aspect is that I think of Shyam as a person who has made it big. He co-founded or founded a company called 60 Bits Consulting. We're going to request Shyam to talk a bit about it. But I know that I have gone through some of these posts which Shyam has made without he coming to know of it. So Shyam, I have stalked you. and I saw the kind of great work which you are doing. I saw you facilitating programs for multinationals, for companies in Bangalore, in different parts of the country. Shyam, I know I've been in this field. It takes a lot of muscle. It takes a lot of muscle. It takes a lot of muscle here. So awesome, man. I think you rock, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they are going to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, I'm talking to somebody with whom I had some very brief but very sweet moments, I'll say, while attending some of these CHRO conclaves of Tata Group. I mean, for those who are from Tata, they know. There has been something called CHRO conclave where CHROs from all the companies, from the house of Tata, and some very senior HR professionals from some of these big companies, they used to come and participate. And those are the days when we used to ask some questions. I used to ask some questions quite abruptly, to the dismay and shock of some of the senior people. But of course, it was 2018 onwards when I started having deep realizations of how to listen better, how to be very polite while asking questions, how not to ruffle feathers. And still Shyam used to come and say, Arun, well done, very nice question. So Shyam, amazing, welcome. Hearty welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hats up to you for having accepted my invitation to be a part of this conversation. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be seen by hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people. That's going to happen, because I know we are going to talk to the co-founder and founder of 60 Bits Consulting. Shyam, over to you. Would you like to say something about 60 Bits? A very interesting name, by the way. 60 Bits, and whatever you want to share, we can start from there and then we'll pick up from how it goes.
Sure. So thanks, Arun. It's a real pleasure and honor to connect with you. I mean, as we were talking about the old golden days of Tata's, my mind also was jogging and my memory also was jogging. It was a fun. I mean, where else apart from Tata's can they afford to have all the CHOs under one platform? So
that was amazing.
Amazing.
That was amazing.
It was a great initiative.
Yeah.
So coming to 60 Bits Consulting, I was kind of looking at what would be an appropriate name for an organization, which can really reveal our DNA in terms of what we really intend to do. And that's how we, after reading several literatures, meeting several friends and several ideas we were kind of inviting from friends, families, and so forth, we realized that what is our real value addition or USP to a business that we are going to add. And that's why we realized that changes happen when it's small. people look forward to a large quantum leap change, but that doesn't really happen and sustain. So small changes leads to big difference. And if that's our tagline, small change, big difference, how can we really create and invoke the 60th bit of our mind so that we are able to adjust and move forward without even understanding that we are undergoing change? So from an NLP perspective, in a given minute, we get more than 10 million bits per second, out of which a lot of things are getting deleted, distorted, or generalized. Only the 60th bit is really retained what we are really talking about. That's how we
Awesome.
The word 60 bits. And the tagline is small change, big difference, and that's what we really add value or build up our communication with our clients.
Very nice. This is amazing. You said something which is very powerful, audience. I think some of the people who might have seen some of the videos which I have been sharing. Most of these videos are talking about one thing, and that is it's all going to begin on a small note. The challenge here is that people have got this lottery mindset. Within one day, can I have all the biggest of outcomes? It's never going to happen. So, for example, when I wrote my first book, it started with writing 500 words, and then it went on to 5 lakh words. So I have completed, I think it's more than that. I have completed more than 10 books by now. So some of these books are going to come out.
Wow.
I started with one small podcast while still covering me with, Rajai and Lihaf during wintry days of 2018-19, when I used to wake up early in the morning. When I started making some changes within me, between 5 to 5:30 in the morning, I used to record some voice memo. There is this little facility. There is this little facility in iPhones. And then I have got some 700 videos. And there are people who have got 7,000 videos also. I'm not saying that, we all have got our own journey. What I'm saying is that don't start small. People with this lottery mindset, they want to gain everything in 3 months. No, people have taken 20 years. I was just looking at one video of Tony Robbins, where he has shared some old videos of 1997 when he used to go to some of the corporates and he is giving a talk. And today it's almost 25 years. That's the time which I've seen people taking. Swami Ramdev, 27 years. Sadhguru, 27 plus years. Maybe more than 30 plus years. Absolutely. And of course, Shyam, more than 10 years. And Arun, almost a few years. But I think it's very interesting what you said, Shyam, and it's a great thing. Second thing which I noted from what you said is very interesting. I also found, Shyam, that there are two things in this world. One is transmitters like books and talk speakers, and they are like transmitters. And the people are receivers. And what I saw is that the transformation actually depends a lot on the receivers, that is the students. I'm pretty sure you must have seen that among a group of 100 people that you have given the same talk, there are 10 people who are totally glued to you. They still might have been in touch with you, even after maybe 5 years of you having conducted the session. And there are other people who might be scrolling, oh my God, I'm so busy, I'm the managing director, I'm the senior leader or something, and then I'm too busy to spend one full day here. If I spend one full day with full conviction, with full focus, what will my team think? They will get a feeling that this guy does not have a job. I don't know what could be the reason. I'm saying on lighter note, I found that the receiver is very important. And I also found that because I made some changes in my life, it has been almost 5 years since I have been waking up in the morning at around 4:45, 5 o'clock. And then actually I started a program called MMRG, Magical Morning Rituals for Greatness, which I do for 1 hour, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What I saw is that if we start using some of the, the secrets which have been there in all the scriptures and Bhagavad Gita and all these Rishi Munis have said, Brahmurta, and we do not listen to Brahmurta, we listen to, when Harvard people say that there is something called alpha state of mind and all that. If we practice it truly, I have seen that happening. And I've seen that happening with me. I have become a much better listener, and that has made all the changes. And still, I used to be the same person who used to read books and listen to people who used to talk about the power of listening. And nobody, even the person who used to talk about listening, they also didn't know what exactly listening is. And then I practiced it. As Einstein said, that it's true knowledge is something which we experience. I'm pretty sure you have seen that in your career and life. If people start building if the people build some powerful habits, their 60 bits may go up to 120 bits. That is surprisingly true. I have seen that. So maybe we'll work out together, Shyam, and maybe you will have a second vertical of 60 bits, 120 bits, and that is for a different kind of high-end clients, because I've seen this magic happening, Shyam, and I didn't have any clue about it earlier. So amazing, Shyam. And Shyam, would you like to say something about how did you decide to leave the house of Tatas? You are doing such a great job and you are in senior position. Let's talk about that moment of transition, because that's very close to my heart, because that needs courage and conviction and clarity and some of these things which 99% people do not even get a hang of. So would you like to say something? How did you make that decision?
So it was not an easy decision, obviously, because I come from a family, I come from a background where no one is an entrepreneur. So I'm like the first G entrepreneur in my entire.
Wow, we have got another connection now.
So I had this inner dream to be an entrepreneur at the age of 40. I was very clear that I would kind of learn a lot and be an entrepreneur when I reach the age of 40. Wow. That was one of the goals that I had. And secondly, life was very comfortable in the house of Tatas, to be very, very honest. It became so comfortable that I really started becoming uncomfortable. And
that's a very interesting, because we'll come to comfort zone. I think it's very interesting thing which you're saying. Go on, please.
Yeah, so I could have happily married and retired from the organization, which was well paid. I had everything. But something was really not happy within. I wasn't feeling very happy about the whole thing. And the other angle to that is I learned a lot of things about HR practices in the house of Tatas, which I saw that it's time that we spread it to the other corporates. I was lucky to have support from my family. My wife is an entrepreneur. She runs an export house. So I could get a lot of back-end support, a lot of motivation from her, because she has been and seen entrepreneurial life.
Okay. Very nice.
So for me, that cushion, that support was very essential from a home front, which I got. And I was very lucky to have found like-minded people who came together, believed in the vision, believed in my objectives of goals or purpose that I was looking for. And that's how we co-founded 60 Bits Consulting. And I'm very happy to say it was by coincidence, we started the company on 25th of June, 2017. And 25th of June also happens to be a day when 1983 India won the World Cup. 25th June 1983.
Oh, wow. No, now I see the connection between you winning big facilitation projects and all that. Very
nice. Coincidence, but I really cherish the day, and I use it as my elevator pitch when I talk to my clients.
That's a great way. That's a great way to connect. And now, of course, since I do one-to-one coaching and these coaching programs, I always talk about 5 or 6 things on which people have to make changes. One is vision board, second is goals, third is habits, fourth is coach, fifth is people have to make action plan for achieving their goals. And another thing is very important, that is the power of company, the company that you keep. And I think you had this privilege, inverted comma, of having the company of none other than your wife, who was a few miles ahead of you on the journey of entrepreneurship. And I'm pretty sure that must have played a very important, very powerful role. I was going through, I think people know the stories of N.R. Narayan Murthy and many of these people who actually got supported by their wives. So let's put our hands together for your wife. Because all the companies and all the employees in all the companies where you have done some program, they have got benefited. A very important credit goes to your wife. Otherwise, probably you would have found it very difficult to take a call to leave Tatas and leave the comfort zone. Yeah, so that's very important. Also, you spoke of comfort zone, which is very important. Because I always tell people that actually I didn't know the real meaning of what Jim Collins said when he wrote a book called Good to Great. Then I realized, and I always tell people that if your life is okay or good, nothing is going to change. And actually good is the enemy of great, because I have seen 2 types of people coming for my coaching programs or some of these programs which I do. One is the people who have got inherent flame. There are very few. The number of such people is very small. Who are doing good, they want to do great. It's a very small number of people who are actually it's a very proactive group of people who want to make it bigger. Most of the people come who didn't have good. So they are below okay. They have got something which has shaken them. I call this moment as my Peter Marisburg moment, which is what which was the topic of my first book. So whenever people get thrown out of the comfort zone of train, the way Karamchand Gandhi was thrown out in the place called Peter Marisburg, then actually people start running, Arun, can I join coaching program? And that's how it happens. So it's very important that you belong to the first group of people, which is a very elite group, which is a very small group. Even I didn't belong to that group, because I also decided to do something when I saw something happening around me, on which I've written a full book, so I won't come to that. But I saw something happening which broke my comfort zone. And probably since I came from the house of Tatas after having worked there for 18 years, what I saw was natural for others, but what I saw was very unnatural for me. Then I decided to do something to uplift my power so that I can do something and challenge the status quo. Very nice. So Shyam, you have done a lot of work. Of course, we'll talk about some of the programs which you have done. I have got some pictures from LinkedIn. We are going to talk around some of these programs which you have done. On a funny note, on a lighter note, because whoever talks to me, he or she becomes an author, because that's the power of company. We spoke about the power of company. So someday it's certainly going to happen. We will speak offline. Suppose you write a book on your life and your journey. What do you think could be the title of the book? Think it over.
Okay, very interesting question. A lot of titles coming into my mind, but I'll rest with two titles.
Okay.
One is Tatas ko kiya Tata.
Okay.
So that could be one title. Or in English, if I were to pronounce Tata to Tatas.
Tata to Tatas. Okay.
And a second one could be Maverick.
Maverick, yeah. And third one could be saying bye to comfort zone or something. I think that's related to the first one.
Yeah.
So Tathastu, done. Law of attraction. You will have all the 2 or maybe 2+ books coming up. Now you got them, because it's my fun to complete a book in 10-15 days. If I just work on one book at a time, people can give any topic, so it happens in 10-15 days. So it will happen. Very nice. And would you like to tell us a couple of chapters from the first book, Tata to Tata? One or two headline of chapters. Okay. Or maybe the second book also, whichever book you think you can give us a couple of chapters.
Okay. So some chapters from the first book, Tatas to Tata, could be Catapult, could be one.
Okay.
Catalyst could be another.
Yeah.
And third could be Character. So
wow.
In 3 C's.
Catapult, Catalyst, and Character. Very important. Very important. I think that takes me to some of the programs which you are doing. Would you like to share some of the key programs which 60 Bits Consulting is providing, so that people get a better idea of the kind of things you can do for them?
Sure. So as an organization, 60 Bits Consulting is into 3 different verticals. The first vertical is HR and OD consulting, where we do a lot of consulting work for large and mid-sized organizations based in India and abroad.
Yeah.
We also are into learning solutions, where we offer a lot of programs customized to clients' needs, right from individual contributors to first-time managers to managers, leading managers, businesses, CXOs, and so on and so forth. And last is executive coaching. So these are the 3 different verticals that we offer. Talking about the learning solutions, we use a very unconventional way to go about it. First and foremost, we strongly believe and feel that training program is just 10% of the whole thing. The remaining
absolutely.
70-20-10 framework. 10 is just the 10% of the training program. And what I've realized is most of the time, it's not the training that is important. It is something else that is required. And people conveniently put it under training, and then they go for training, have fun, and then they come back and
nothing changes.
Nothing much changes. It's just the same. And perhaps the trainer gets the blame, or HR gets the blame, or something. The blame keeps passing like a dodgeball.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of customized work to our clients using our 3D approach, where we kind of diagnose, which is the discovery phase. Then we go and co-create the design with the client, and then that's finally the delivery, where we facilitate using our methodology. And one of our unique methodologies is no PPTs, because we strongly feel power corrupts, PowerPoint absolutely corrupts.
My God, I see a lot of resonance now. I'll share something. Very nice. Very nice.
So we believe power lies in the audience, power lies in the participants. So let's use the collective group wisdom and harvest and create magical moments so that the learning sticks. And since it's adult learning and accelerated learning, we bring in the process of group process facilitation, creative arts. My team members are all certified in that. And that's how together we create the magic, so that people really don't feel, because a lot of people have got a lot of myth on training. The moment you say training ko bulaya hai, you have called for a training, people come with a mindset of, oh, what again, or why me, or what is he going to teach, or what is it that I'm going to learn. So how we really help is in right from diagnosing, discovering, delivering, and also creating the pitch to the clients, so that they contextualize it as a business need, so that it creates a business impact. The moment you communicate it as a business need and look at from that perspective, I think the roads are much welcoming. Otherwise, you are going to have a lot of potholes.
Very powerful things which you have said, Shyam. So let me pick up 2 things from what you just said. One is that you said that power corrupts and PowerPoint corrupts completely. So what I have seen is that this is one of the programs which I did towards the beginning of this year, and I had gone to the same institution in 2019 when I had to conduct an 8-hour session, motivational session for students, which I had designed. That is where my journey started. And I recall having carried a laptop with 126 slides in 2019. I could see that people are getting connected, but not exactly. I hardly could recall moments when they clapped and all that. This time I went without a slide, without a single slide. It was like, going within the audience and talking to them. You look at their smile. If somebody is not smiling, again, you connect that with the theme of transformation and how to make it better. I saw that every 10 minutes there was one clap. And it kept on happening for the day. And that's because of power corrupts and PowerPoint corrupts absolutely. And then I realized that it's a journey. I think for you, you already have got on this journey earlier. And then for me, it came later. But then I realized that once I realized it was completely, I'll say, earth shattering when we talk about the earth of training. Because right. I have seen that 2 days, some of these biggest of names which have got international names. And actually, yesterday I was talking to somebody, we are going to start something so that we can challenge this status quo. It's important and we need more people like you and your 60 bits consulting. 2 days program, somebody comes, charges 1.5 million rupees I have seen, 1 million rupees or whatever dollars also at times, I didn't know that's too much. And then nothing happens because I think there is a fourth element which is very important. I'm pretty sure you must be doing. So designing, diagnosing, and then designing something, co-creating something so that people get involved. Going back to what Albert Einstein had said, that true knowledge is only what comes through experience, making them experience, getting them engaged. And I also saw that if our subconscious mind needs repetition, that's the reason some of the programs, all the programs which I've designed, they go on for 3 months time, one session every week, and then we have some follow. We don't call it follow-up session, but yeah, let's get together and let's talk about success stories, queries resolution, and mastermind sessions and all that, which I'm pretty sure must be doing. And these are something which people do not have time for. Many people come for selling, they will come. And I'm talking about some of the international client training institutions. I know some of these people will come and talk and then they will charge you. And then once the program is over, you can't even see their face because they are into selling. Right. Thanks to people like you who are actually coming out of passion, your own ability, your own liking. And I think that's the reason what you are going to do with the field of training is something which other people can't think of, because most of these people get salesmen, right? In their training area.
Very true.
Awesome. Very nice. So Shyam, would you like to, of course you are coming from the house of Tatas, you said Tata to Tatas. Would you like to talk about some of these inspiring people in your life? They might not be from Tatas elsewhere. Some people who inspired you. And let me share one picture while you say. Yeah, please go on.
Sure. So I have been very, very fortunate to have amazing mentors throughout my life. I mean, for those who really don't know me, they might get into a shock. I actually, by head, I'm a company secretary by qualification. And I took a career U-turn and got into HR accidentally.
Okay. I didn't know. You have got multiple hats, man.
Yes, I was very happy at a very, very early stage. My mentor, my boss, Colonel Ravi Joshi, who I earlier worked for, he identified the spark and potential, and he said, "Shyam, you can be a good HR guy." And there was a HR person not in the system, and he said, "You take for temporary." And I was really new, fresh from the college. I was being company secretary simultaneously, and was more busy chasing company law acts and things like that. And you can't say no to your boss, and I really trusted him as a great leader and a mentor for me. I took up some responsibilities without knowing what I'm getting into. And 3-6 months down the line, I really felt, this is something I really like to do for my rest of my career in life. Having taken CS halfway, I said I'll complete the CS, but I thought I will not marry to companies law and acts and things like that. So I completed my company secretary, and then I completely focused my career towards human resource. So to begin with, my gratitude, everything that I learned today was my first job, first mentor, first boss, Colonel Ravi Joshi. Then moving to, I happened to meet Professor Leslie Rebello, who also happens to be an ex-Tata TN, ex-XLRI, and a great person, a human being. Whatever I am today from an HR knowledge bank is thanks to him for his guidance, for his thought-provoking ideas, way ahead of his time in terms of how HR should be more disruptive from moving away from a transactional to a transformational thing. Then moving to, a lot of guys in the house of Tatas, Satish Pradhan, Dr. N.S. Rajan. These were some of the people who really touched my earlier CHRO, Dr. Govind Baga Singh, with whom I very closely worked in Tata Power. A lot of MDs with whom I really worked, Mr. Prasad Menon being one of them, Mr. Anil Sardana being other, Mr. Rahul Chaudhary being other. I mean, there have been multiple people who have come and taught me some aspects of HR by experience, by design, by accident, you would say, where it really blew my mind. This picture that you see behind was a great opportunity for me to talk about what we do very proudly in the house of Tata Power ACD at that point in time in Bangalore. For the first time visit of Mr. Cyrus Mistry, who was the earlier chairman, and he had come to visit our plant, our factory, and the top team was taking him and walking him through the whole thing. So the way he was interacting with the people, the way, look at his way he's dressed up also, no suit
Very
coat,
one
very,
one
very down to earth, yeah, very humble, very good listener, very good questioning abilities, understanding abilities, grasping abilities, sensing abilities, trying to see. All these things was a very, very great learning for me. And I can go on and be gratitude to so many people in my career. But these are some of the people that I can think of. Of the Tatas, if you talk about it, Mr. Vivek Patwardhan and many other people who are really pioneers, doyens in the space of HR, IR, where their experience really brushes you in a very, very positive way.
Very
So I'm just
interesting,
very
very interesting, very interesting. Now, actually, people must be wondering why I was standing like this. So while you were talking about some mentors, I wanted you not to get distracted. So I thought let it come out later on. I think, I recall some other people who are in the field of very good training, kind of programs. They having spoken about Mr. Cyrus Mistry in very good way, very in a very high regard, because he is the person who got some of these training programs into Shapurji Palunji many years ago.
absolutely.
True loss.
Yeah, it's a big
True
loss.
loss. Yeah, absolutely. And then, so we spoke about some inspiring people, and I wanted to share that this is the next connection, next thread of connection between both of us, because you came from the field of company secretaryship, I came from the field of engineering, and this and this makes me talk about this program which I started doing later on once I realized the power of it, called Vision Board. In our country, people get driving license before the age of, I think, 20 years. And even before they get their driving license, they have to decide the field in which they want to build their career, which is too early. You came to this field, something you said 40 years. Napoleon Hill had said that, and many people have endorsed it, and I saw it personally. I had the first set of realizations when I was 42 years. The funny thing about life is that by the time we figure out what exactly we want to do, by the time we figure out what exactly is the path for us, we already have lived half our life. This is half-life theory, not exactly related to radioactivity. So then with this purpose, I started conducting this session called Vision Board for students, because they're at the right time.
Right.
And for example, on lighter note, had you attended my Vision Board session, of course, even that time, even I didn't know what Vision Board is, you would have started your career in the field of training at the age of 20s. So you see how many years people are losing, people like me, people like, many people in different fields. And this is happening. I think you had that's the reason I said courage, clarity, and conviction. You had the courage to finally take a decision to come into, because you started feeling uncomfortable with the field of comfort zone. But out of 100 people, how many people are able to do that?
Yeah, I mean,
95 people will just stay there, retire.
They keep talking about it, blaming about it, being cynic about it, but they don't take the first step.
Absolutely, which is the journey of 1,000 miles starts with first step. You said Tata to Tata, and there are 99% people who say Tata to life. They don't say Tata to Tata. I'm just taking an example. It's a great group. I think it's an amazing group. We all know it. And that's the reason we are talking. You spoke all the leaders, most of the leaders coming from the house of Tatas. I've seen some of the best of leaders. Having said that, people say Tata to their dreams, their life, the greatness which they could have achieved.
Right.
But they do not say Tata to some of the companies. So very interesting. So Shyam, would you like to tell us something about some of the books which inspired you, and some movies which you found inspiring, or something which you would like to recommend to our audience?
Sure. So books, definitely a lot of books on Anthony Robbins, Jack Canfield. The Secret itself, which we have been talking about, law of attraction, has really been a very positive bent to me, to my thought process, to my overall thing. So I have been a great follower of all these great people. I personally have met Jack Canfield also, got a chance to meet up with him. So I kind of practice and follow what you said, the vision board and the law of abundance, manifestation, visualization, and things like that. And I have been reading a lot of books. Of late, the best book that I can recommend is The Culture Code by Daniel Goyle. The Culture Code, amazing book, because we are working on that area with some organizations on change and culture. So that's
Very
something that we have
powerful,
been.
very powerful,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
powerful.
and a lot of books, Ricardo Samler, Maverick, and many other books on execution excellence. And since we do a lot of group process facilitation, a lot of books on facilitation written by Michael Wilkinson, and things like that. So that's something that I can recommend.
Awesome. I recall having seen one of the interviews of the current CHRO of Tata Steel, Miss Atreya Sanyal, and she took the name of this book called The Secret.
Yes.
And this actually works. She is the CHR of the company. It actually works. So I don't know whether Atreya ma'am is going to see it. So we are talking about you, ma'am, with all fondness and with all regards and respect. I know Miss Atreya Sanyal as one of the best salespeople, one of the most convincing leaders in Tata Steel, because I was in Tata Blue Steel, and she was the person who founded, who actually grew Tata Shakti Retail Network. So it works. Wherever she went, she has done fantastic job and amazing, and we see it coming from you, Shyam. Very nice. Shyam, you might have traveled many places, many companies you spoke about, and many companies are currently working. And culture thing is very important. Would you like to talk about some places which touched your heart, or something? There is something about these places, some places which you loved, you love visiting to.
Okay, so my heart is always, I come from Kerala. My native is Kerala.
Wow.
That to Wayanad, and after some strange news in the political thing, Wayanad has suddenly become a big news. I don't want to name that over here. So I come from that place, and definitely I love going back to Kerala and do workshops. We did a couple of open workshops out there, and clients out over there. So that is something I like. The warmth of it, the simplicity of it. Talking about the warmth and simplicity, Orissa is another place that I really love. Simpletons, very humble. Very religiously they will follow what you say, habitual things like that. Orissa, of course, we've been to Gujarat, many other places. I'm not demeaning any state, but that what really struck me was the invisible goodness that the place offered you.
Yeah.
It's not the 5-star luxury, or it's not about the fancy introductions, or it's not about that. It's the invisible goodness that you can feel and sense as soon as you walk in, as soon as you meet someone, as soon as you're touched by their gestures. So that is something that really I cherish, and I go back. Yeah.
People talk about vibes, positive vibes, and there is something. For example, every time I go to Jaipur, for example, I feel like, wow, let me take a deep breath of air, let me enjoy the winter sun. So there are some places which love, and of course Pune is beautiful. Would you like to say something? Let's come back to the corporate field. Would you like to make a suggestion or some kind of advice to leaders who are hiring, who are making hiring decisions, and which are those qualities which you think hiring managers should look for while hiring people across different areas?
Okay. So hiring, I feel if you were to look at employee life cycle as an HR process, it starts from hiring till retiring or firing, whatever you can name it.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of time our own HR community, our own HR folks are so busy chasing the numbers behind the recruitment target, cycle time, this time, that time, TAT, all that things, and they're missing out on the finer aspects.
Yeah.
The very important point is to really have a dialogue with the concerned stakeholder to understand why is this job really required, or what exactly does this job really entail. I see some of the job descriptions written which is 10 years, 15 years old, which is also in a very bad shape. The Xeroxes have taken like this and have now suddenly turned this way also.
And
cyclostyle, and
patches
Xerox,
and spots. Yeah.
So I think the first thing is to understand and have a clarity on what is it that we're recruiting for and who are we recruiting for. Creating a kind of an employee persona that will really work in the organizational context. And then really helping the line managers to really embrace the art of interviewing, because everyone thinks that they can interview, but that's not the case. It's an art and it's science as well. So how can you really add value to the community, to the business, rather than simply being a newsreader? When I'm saying a newsreader, I get a CV, I tell to the line manager, ye CV hai, ye itna saal experience, itna qualification, blah blah blah, that even the line manager can read from the CV. What is so great about you telling me about that? So what is it that you have added value? What is it that you have added? So when you're talking to a candidate and trying to judge, assess, what is the attitude that you're really assessing for? Are you really going with a structured process of a BEI or STAR or what a framework that it is? Are you trying to see the biases or unconscious bias that's coming in the way when the line manager is recruiting. For example, I am from South and there's a South CV, oh, great guy. Or I am from IIT, there's an IIT, and oh, great guy. There are a lot of such biases that goes in the hiring phase. And as HR, process owners, recruitment, talent acquisition, whatever you call, how do we really nip the bud? How do we really cross-check? How do we really be aware so that we create, in today's context, everything is experience. So even if a candidate is selected or not selected, what kind of candidate experience are we giving? What kind of customer experience are we giving? Whether it's a campus or whether it's a lateral, doesn't really matter. What is it that the person is really taking away from the interview experience? So these are the areas I feel there's a humongous opportunity for people to really look at it, because the moment you start to look at it from a business perspective, that this is a business need or this is a business case, just otherwise looking at a number, I think we'll continue doing the same mistakes or errors or things the same way. The business is going to shift the ball game to the HR is going to shift the ball game to the business, and it's going to be a ping pong.
No, this is very powerful. So coming back to what I just mentioned for a while, we spoke about the transmitter and receiver. What I found is that if we have to rank HR professionals, 95% plus HR professional, maybe 99% plus, maybe all of them, I'll go to that extent of saying that most of the HR professionals are not good receivers. They have stopped learning beyond a point. When it comes to learning, they will go and attend some courses so that they can put it in the resume and they can update their LinkedIn, because their goal is what? Lottery mindset. Another big opportunity. I made an experiment. What I did is that I got a group of people and I took a challenge to make them upgrade their receiving ability, so that they are awakening. People talk about 10x level, peak performance level. And I started conducting one session every, second day in the morning as 5:30 to 6:30, where I just used to just reflect on our yesterday and think about some good things, think about some interviews which people conducted, for example, and think about the way the interview went, think about something which they think could have been made better. Reflections, thinking about yesterday's priorities, whether they had their priorities set for yesterday, whether today they have got their priorities set, whether do they know which are those 2 or 3 things which they want to achieve today, and to repeat the same thing for tomorrow. So this is something which I called as YTT, which is one of the MMRGs. It's like small bites of, practices, habits which people build. And once they did it, including meditation, just sitting in silence, keeping a little smile on face, taking deep breath, and then I saw that their subconscious mind started awakening. And then they started smiling and saying after a couple of months, saying that I didn't know, Arun, that I was on the wrong path. I didn't even know that I missed asking some questions. I didn't even know that the power lies in questions, but actually there is a bigger power which lies in the way you interpreting and listening to them while they give answers. Answers are more powerful. You can ask any question, any casual question, but the same question is going to be attempted by 10 people in 10 different ways. Just look at it, and by catching the words which they are saying, you can actually know what kind of mindset they have got, isn't it? If somebody starts putting something, that he's a blaming mindset person, he's going to put blame on other people. The thing is that our receiver is weak, and it's something, what I'm talking about, Shyam, is something which is huge, explosive idea. I'm just about to launch it. And this is a huge thing that if we just focus on ourselves, we'll become better HR professionals, better husbands, better wives, better drivers. You see some of these cases of road rage. I mean, the person is not going to lose anything within a fraction of a second. Still people start fighting and all that. I mean, it's okay. Just stay back, take 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 10 seconds time, and then move on. Why? Because the receiver is off. Anger, frustration, reaction. And then you are asking a question, the person is responding, and then I'm scrolling my phone. And even if I'm not scrolling, we are not able to receive. It's an amazing field which you spoke about. And thank you so much. I think we'll get together. We'll do something to make this world better, because then before that we have made our life. I think we are working to make ourselves better. That's how it is.
Absolutely.
Because I realized that first we transform ourselves, and then it becomes so easy to transform the world. But the world thinks of is the other way. Let Tata give me 10 times bonus. Let Tata give me 2 times increment. Let Tata give me this and that and this and that. And they're actually getting it. Some of the people, comfort zone, good. Anyway, with due regard to some of these best of houses, I know, because I have been on both the sides, I know these are some of the best of houses. If somebody wants to do something which is 10 times the potential that, as compared to the potential that the person is working today, the only route is what you followed. One is to know oneself, and then one is to move on. Very nice. So amazing. Shyam, would you like to ask any question to me? Because I've been asking questions. I thought let me make a change before we move on. We have got some time, 15, 20. Would you like to ask any question to me? And then
Sure.
this is unscripted audience. This is absolutely unscripted. We are just having free flowing conversation. Shyam, go on.
Yeah.
Go on,
I would like to know the secret of writing so many books. What would be one or two mantras that you would like to suggest to me and the audience of
this
how
is
to
very
get
interesting,
started?
very interesting question, Shyam. So there is a short and there is a long answer. So the short answer is that anybody wants to write a book, anybody who feels like writing a book, that means there is a seed of writing within the person. Otherwise, people will not ask for it. Anybody who has got this thinking, just join MMRG Magical Morning Ritual for Greatness program. I'm just telling because we spoke about receiver. Because I recorded my first podcast early morning hours, recorded my first video early morning hours, wrote my first chapter early morning hours, and everything happened in early morning hours. And then I realized the power of alpha state of mind through action. So the thing is that I couldn't, and this is something, that's the reason actually I'm going to many corporates now. I'm going to conduct a 2-hour program. The topic is the power of 1 hour.
Wow.
First of all, people have got seed. For example, you have got a seed of writing. There are many people who have got the seed of writing. There are people who have got seed of cricketing, for example, cricket. So playing some sports. There are people who have got the seed of music and blah, 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 different fields. The seed is lying in a dormant stage. It's like a seed which we have thrown on a concrete surface. There is no watering, nothing. It does not have soil. When people join some of these programs, and that's what my endeavor is to. My endeavor is to see, because I know that everybody has got huge powers. The power may be in different fields. We just have to tap the power which is lying within, and that's what brings us back to some of these things which Sadhguru and many people keep on saying. Take the journey within. I didn't even know head and tail of what exactly it means till I realized myself. I recall a few years ago I told my wife that, Divya, despite the fact that I was a topper in my school days till class 10, I'm saying I know that education is one aspect, but real education is something which I got at the age of 42 onwards. So I want to, having said that, I could never understand one particular thing, and that was whenever there are some chapters, some books which used to write that, which used to mention that Siddhartha Gautam became Mahatma Buddha, and he got enlightenment while sitting beneath the banyan tree. And I realized it at the age of 42 after that. What exactly is the meaning of enlightenment? Because all that he was doing was to meditate for 10 hours, and he was thinking, reflecting, which today's HR people forget about. I'm just taking one example, they are not doing at all. Nobody is reflecting. So I tell people that just look within. The power is lying, the seed is there. You just need to sow the seed in fertile soil, get some sunshine, and then it becomes a tree, the way it became in my case. And I was shocked that had I not made some changes in my life, that's how I have designed my one-to-one coaching program, which focuses on 5 things. And so you first discover what is that, the signal which you keep on getting, writing or leadership or whatever. Then you change habits, set goals, keep on working, tap the power of magical morning. That's the reason I've added magical, though I know many corporates will start laughing, but I actually see that it's more than magic. So I thought let me at least call it magical, MMRG, Magical Morning Rituals for Greatness. Tap the power of at least 1 hour in the morning, and it happens dramatically. And today I'm in a stage that I can write a book. You tell me a topic, I can write a book in 10 days. And I couldn't write a single book for 42 years. Wonderful. And that is the reason you see now, you reflect back. Let's reflect back. Sadhguru waking up at 3:30, Swami Ramdev at 3:30. My father-in-law, Dr. Nagan Neeraj, who is one of the best naturopathic doctors in the world, they say, and he is currently the director of Yogram, which is the largest yoga center, which is under Patanjali. He has been waking up at 4 o'clock over the last 45 years. बचपन से मैं सुनते आता था, early to bed, early to rise, Benjamin Franklin, and I didn't know the meaning of it. Despite having been married to Dr. Neeraj's daughter since 2003, I made this habit in 2018 when I had my own Peter Marisburg movement. So that's what the book is. I think another short answer is that you can just get this. Let me share something just for the sake of sharing, for the sake of fun only. So these are the books which I wrote in 1 year. The Strawberry Farm. These are all books of transformation. I think people do not know. I have done zero marketing because मेरा है कि एक दिन आएगा जब लोग जुड़ेंगे. This is the book which is there in all the bookstores, and this is where it all started from. Adversity is the mother of transformation. Yes, and my Peter Marisburg movement and how it unraveled the door to 7 laws of super success and happiness. Whenever you feel like, just call me. We'll have some talks and all that. before the audio, because what I get a feeling, I always tell my wife that I get a feeling that I've got a super Brahmastra. I just need to unleash the power. And that happened only after I started making changes within me, because earlier I used to also get a feeling कि पूरा world में ये problem हमारे अंदर इतनी power है श्याम, इतनी power है, it's like amazing. So that's the way it happened. So working on 5 things: vision, habits, goals, action plan, and the king of all habits, magical morning. Tapping 1 hour every day in the morning, and that's
Very
so
good.
it has been since 2018 that be it Monday, be it Sunday, I don't know, ad aata tha na Sunday or Monday, Rose Sunday and all that. So of course it's not about that for me. Sunday or Monday, I'll wake up in the morning around 5, before 5, and then I started this program because I thought this message has to reach out to crores of Indians. और मुझे लगता है श्याम कि अगर ये इंडियंस को पहुंच गया ना तो हमारा देश 5 गुना फिर सोने की चिड़िया का सोने का सब कुछ बन जाएगा. I mean, I get this feeling, but आज की you know the youth is distracted, वो ये करके वो क्या क्या पहले TikTok बंद हो गया, उसके बाद वो reels आ गया and all that, and all these multinational companies in Facebook and all that. I don't want to talk about it. So of course it can be used for good reason and other reasons. So we'll that's a different topic. But thank you so much for asking this question, because I always tell people that asking is the best way. And maybe whenever I feel like we can have some session, I can just let me know. I'll come and we can have a digital where I can share some this in detail, because there is a whole book on this. So I don't want to take more time, because this is for me to ask questions. Because the audience wants to know you. They will get a feeling कि फिर अपना बात कर रहा है. So very nice. Shyam, would you like to give any advice to the youngsters? आज के youth को कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे आप? आपने इतना बड़ा काम किया, because I know what you have done. I know what you have done. This is amazing. Would you like to give any advice to the youth?
Sure. So, being in the field of HR, I get a chance to meet a lot of youngsters, campus people, for various reasons. You know, whether for asking for a job or interview, or how to approach CVs, things like that. And when I was in the House of Tatas, right from IIMs, IIT, we have been doing multiple campus placements and hiring. So, looking at the demography that we have today, I would just like to advise 3 things, and I've coined it as RAW, RAW, so that it becomes easy for people to remember. R is rewarding. Whatever you do at the earliest stage, make sure that it's rewarding for both the people, for you as well as for your customer. Absolutely. It could be a boss, it could be a team member, it could be a colleague, it could be anything. Whatever you pick up, it should be rewarding. People should feel ki coming back to you again and again. People should really look at you. So don't do an act or a task just for the sake of doing it. Yeah. Do it in such a way that everyone should say that yes, ye to isi ne kiya hoga. This is the best signature or the best legacy that you can create, whatever duration you are. So rewarding is one thing, and also look out for rewarding opportunities. People say, "Yaar, mere ko kyun karne diya? Why I am doing this?" Look for multiple opportunities. Go beyond the job descriptions. Go beyond the box. Create your own set of box.
Very nice. Very nice.
Second, A is ability. Keep investing in yourself. The more you learn, the more you earn. Keep investing in yourself. Keep learning. Keep the mindset of promotion is, if I've learned a new skill, that's a promotion for me. So in 1 year, how many new skills have I added to my kitty? That many times I've been promoted, and please celebrate that. Do not look at promotion from the pure designation change or a compensation change. The promotion could be also the more new things that I learn and the more new things I am embracing. That's A. And last but not the least, W is willingness. That is to have an attitude of a global mindset, growth mindset, abundance mindset. So willingness to go beyond, willingness to contribute, willingness to give, not to ask, but also to share, give. So RAW, if you follow these, probably at a very young age, you might be branded as a great talent, hypod, whatever you call in the HR parlance. And you can really travel miles together and create a unique, distinct identity or a brand for yourself, and grow the way you want to grow. That's the simple mantra that I want to share.
Wow. Awesome. Very nice. So RAW, raw. Next common thread between both of us. This is the thickest chapter in this book, 7 Laws of Super Success and Happiness. Building the learner's mindset. And Wonderful. This is the most exciting chapter for me. So I think hardly you'll find a book which is talking about learner's mindset, because normally books talk about mindset, but there is something called learner's mindset. And the next one is miracles of mindset change, which I think many people talk about, but this is all about my personal experiences, which I went through. Absolutely right mindset you said. I think, Shyam, there's a huge opportunity for us to do a lot great for this country and of course for the world. Let's start on a scale that we can. And what you said, if just people understand the meaning of RAW, I hope their receivers are getting better. I think they can attain something which is going to be magical. Excellent. Shyam, one question which I must ask, because there are many entrepreneurs who might be watching this video. When you people say, and when I'm talking about the times when you came to this field, of course you got guided by by your wife, which is amazing. I know that many people want to follow their passion or something which they love doing, but then once they jump into this field, they know that this is a world which is all about Bikaji ka bhujia being endorsed by a superstar, then they will come and purchase it. But your amazing programs, people will take time before they, sense and touch and feel and then this and that. I know you must have spent a lot of time. So people get a feeling that they have to spend a lot of time and efforts on marketing. I have seen it personally. 80% time, 70% time goes into marketing, and then 20-30%, maybe less than that, people get for doing what they wanted to do. And of course, I think marketing also is connected to the field of passion, because you are marketing what you are talking about your products, which is a field of your passion. So that way, I think it's a word which people have coined. Having said that, how did you actually establish yourself in a manner that some of these best of companies have started calling? How did it happen? That journey is very important.
Okay. Yeah, so it was not an easy journey, as you rightly said. First and foremost, we wanted to identify how are we going to be different from the lot that is there in the market. Unfortunately, fortunately, our field of HR and training is such that there's no entry barrier. So you can have anybody and everybody who thinks can talk well, look well, do well, can be part of this fraternity, So we wanted to see how are we going to position ourselves uniquely and differently.
Yeah.
What is the second is the methodology of how do we really do it. So that's when we decided no PPTs and the methodology of using creative arts, methodology of using positive psychology, methodology of using appreciative inquiry, methodology of building in group process facilitation. So we got ourselves certified. The entire team is certified professional facilitators from global organization. There are only currently 15 such professionals, and 2 of us are heading this organization.
Wow.
So we bring in a lot of processes facilitation, process consulting, process facilitation, as Edgar Schein talks about in his Humble Inquiry and books like that. Peter Block talks about his book in Faultless Facilitation.
Yeah.
So we bring in that aspect and that angle. And last but not the least, we try to make it how short we can be. So for example, if something can be done in a half a day or a short bite, how can we really capsule that and create the ignite the spark?
Awesome.
So why to spend 2 days and 3 days if that same thing can be done in half a day, as a matter of principle? So we challenge ourselves. We were challenging the status quo that is accepted in the industry, because I still remember 3 years back when we used to go to a training program, despite telling them no projector required, nothing of that sort, in the conference room or in the hotel banquet hall, they would put the screen and the projector, and we used to spend 5 to 10 minutes just removing that whole damn thing. And the HR guy or the L&D guy would say, but I thought you would need that. I said, no, we very categorically said that we don't need that,
receiver is not on. Receiver is correct.
You could say that. And the belief in what we say, we really want them to believe that what we promise is not over promise, neither it's an under promise. It's something that we want to really add value to deliver the value. And how do we really handhold you in terms of after the workshop gets over, the real learning starts once you hit back the work.
Absolutely.
So how can you really make the transition? How can you really create the ecosystem for learning? So we kind of help the client. So this is where we kind of were unique in terms of positioning, in terms of pricing, in terms of the approach. And it's not that for the sake of business development and marketing, some of my team members will go, and for delivery, some of the other team members will go. It's not like that. So we used to do everything right from P to P, from peon to president. It was all of us, So we were involved in the business development, we were involved in the designing, we were involved in the delivery. So we could get the confidence of the client, we could get the benefit of the client, and we used to tell a lot of things which perhaps other big guns or big shots will charge money for. So we really feel it's our humble job or a task or whatever you call to educate our client.
Educate, yeah.
it's not that to hide something from the client. It's also to educate our client, and it's also to tell things which we feel from a neutral third-party perspective, how we see things are.
Yeah.
Maybe they are in the system, they may not be able to realize it, or they may not be able to, as you rightly said, reflect on it or take a pause on it. But we, being a third party getting into the system, are able to ask some powerful questions by way of making them feel and realize what they see and how we see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the third party in perspective, outside in perspective, being absolutely non-judgmental, being absolutely objective in our approach, really helps the client. So
absolutely.
So that's the whole approach, and very clearly we have said to ourselves that we will work with a client where they have first internally tried and it has not worked for them. So the first question I always ask the client is, what have you done about it? Have you done any steps? Have you taken any steps? The moment they do anything and it has not worked for them, that's when they realize what we do validation for them.
Absolutely. They already have gone through, in a smaller way, their Peter Marisburg moment when things have not worked for them. Then actually the interest comes up. Yeah.
Then they really look forward to making the change what we want them to make a change. Awesome. If they have done nothing about it and they simply come to us, then we know, okay, we are going to be having a lot more challenging process as we move forward, because ours is not a conventional way. It's not a typecast typical way. YouTube video dikha diya, some movie dikha diya, some ye dikha diya, some games khela, some balloon toda. No, it's not about that. People remember the balloon game, but don't remember why the hell we did that. What is it applicable in the work for me? So we move beyond that space.
I know. Any advice? Yeah, sorry, go on.
And the second question that we look forward to is it a venue menu type of training, or is it a transformational training? So we know if it's a venue menu kind of a training, what kind of interests are they looking at? So accordingly, we know what to work on. And if it's a transformational training, are they really willing to invest? Are they willing to say that I want to change myself first?
Yeah.
Or is it that he has a problem, they have a problem, pointing fingers? So this is something that we do our own diagnosis before we take up an assignment and a client. And wherever we have worked with, we have been continuously working those clients, handholding them for the last 3 years. Small format, large format, and we do a lot of LSIP where we take about 100, 500 people in offsites and things like that, whether it's an annual sales meet or HR meet or strategy meet, kind of work and help the organizations on that.
Very nice, very nice. So the audience, one very easy way for you to make a difference between the people who are in the field of facilitation and training and transformation, who have come to this field out of their own passion and purpose to make a change, and those people who come because they look good and they kind of whatever. One key differentiating factor is the usage of slides. Both of us do not use any slides, and those who use slides, so audience is wise. Chetan Bhagat has mentioned in one of the interviews that when he was working in a company called Goldman Sachs, I'm just taking the name, he went to New York for some induction, and then he found that they have got a huge globe-shaped building, dome-shaped building, huge building, which has got the capacity of 3,000 people to sit. And all that these people used to do while sitting inside the dome was to know how to make PPTs.
Oh.
And that is one of the key strategies for all these multinationals. I don't want to talk about it, but there are people who are coming in this field, and beware. With humble folded hands, I'm saying. Shyam, another thing, would you like to give some advice to these people as how long a time frame they are going to require before they put their foot in a solid way in the ground and they can start making it sustainable? Any advice to these people who want to follow their passion and get into this field of facilitation and training?
Okay, so I would say when you follow a space or a profession as a facilitation, it is like being a facilitator and living a facilitator. So it's like knowing, being, and doing of a facilitation. So it is not that in my personal life I'm not a facilitator or a coach, and in a profession I'm a facilitator and the coach. It's like being a facilitator. It's like living a facilitator. So it's a journey. There's no end to it. One of the tips that I can strongly recommend to people is that if you are working with a group of people, and if the group of people have come to you with a set of problems, go back to the group of people and ask what the solutions are. Because if the group of people have got a problem, they also know the solution.
Absolutely.
If they don't know the problem, or if they don't know the solution and still tell the problem, then it is not a problem, it's a mystery.
Absolutely.
Then you have to go back to CBI, Sherlock Holmes, or Dayas and get them. It's not our capability. So how do you really do the problem exploration phase is also very, very important.
Yeah. And then how long do you think, Shyam, then they need to keep in mind how many years or months they should keep in mind, and they should keep their savings so that they can, of course, in your case, you had support from family, your wife was already there in this field.
Yeah.
But would you like to give some kind of idea for those people who are actually the sole breadwinner, and how long they should take, and how?
I personally feel you need to have a backup at least for 10 to 12 months.
At least 1 year.
At least 1 year, that can really sustain you, that can really take you the ups and downs. God forbid another COVID kind of thing comes up, then you really don't know where you're going to stand.
Yes.
So and you need to be very mentally agile to be okay to be kabhi khushi kabhi gum.
और कभी-कभी एक ही दिन में खुशी गम दोनों आते रहता है. अभी खुशी कभी गम.
You need to be mentally comfortable with that, and you should burn the bridges of the past. If I had kept the doors open to the house of Tatas, that okay, ye nahi hota I can go back, or ye nahi hota I'll go back to him, I'll talk to managing director, I'll talk to this guy and tell boss work nahi ho raha hai, please take me in. Then you are not giving your 100%, because somewhere in the back of your mind you have a fear, and you also have the cushion ki nahi hua to wo hai na. Solid.
But I think what you said is absolutely rock solid, because because I think there is something, there is a term called burning the bridge, which actually happened 350 years ago by this Spanish conqueror and all the way. When they burnt all the, they actually burning the boat, they said, they burnt all the boats, and some people burning the bridge. I think this is very important, because the moment till you keep on looking back, your journey ahead gets slowed down, and actually it will not happen at all.
Yeah. So when I say burning the bridge, it's not that you're not connecting and stopping the networking. You can definitely connect and network.
As a client, you could talk to them.
As a client, but don't be under the impression that if this doesn't work, I will look for this. People do talk about backup plan A, B, C, D. I'm not talking from that perspective. I'm talking about coming out of the comfort zone, purely in a courageous zone, so that you can test yourself. And also another aspect that I would like to share and add is create your own unique board of directors. Like organizations have board of directors, you as a entrepreneur, whatever space that you want to explore, create your own set of board of directors who are best for you, who can be your mentors, guides, coach on an involuntary basis. You don't need to pay them. They will definitely volunteer and help you grow. Once you go and ask, I'm sure anyone comes and asks you, Arun, can you help me? You're definitely going out of your way and help the other person succeed.
Yeah, correct.
Because that's a joy in giving. So if they can create their own unique set of board of directors who could be a personal board for them for the next 6 months to 1 year, so they're accountable to someone, so the accountability becomes very, very important. And also work with like-minded people, work with a like-minded team, create a team which really believes in your work. Because if I believe in my product, if I believe in my purpose, process, I can sell. And a lot of people feel that they can't sell. While the reality is we all are good salesmen. We don't realize, I can sell a movie to my colleague. If I see a movie and I really like about the movie, I sell the movie to the colleague without getting any commission from the colleague.
Yeah. Very nice.
Very nice. I can sell a hotel food when I go and enjoy the experience and say that hotel has amazing Chinese. You go and eat that Chinese. The hotel guy is not going to give me any commission for that, right? So we all are salesmen in one way or the other. We have to only realize and get out of our comfort zone, be vulnerable, and keep moving towards our targets and goals. As simple as that.
Shyam, you could be a great coach. I'm pretty sure you must have been coaching some people. You must be a great coach for people like you who want to be in this field, because the way you explained is absolutely great. The point which you said, one of the points, I think all the points are very important. But this point of having a board of directors or having some people that you are accountable for, that tomorrow somebody would ask us how many people you have made a call and how many people, how many prospecting you have done is very important. And I think this may save of 6 to 9 months for people I have seen. Absolutely. Other people will be in their own comfort zone. First of all, you are used to going to office and sitting in AC and then talking to people, and then you are alone at home. So it's very important, very powerful. Have you got, by the way, any coaching curriculum? Maybe now, then we'll speak offline. Let's create one. Incubation center. And this works a lot. I think this is coming from experience. I also saw that not everything is there in books. Of course, when we write a book, it will go. So that's very important. Awesome, Shyam. I think it's amazing talking to you. I have to keep my promise of time also. It's 1 hour and 5 minutes. So we already
didn't realize how the time flew.
Time flew. And the last, I think the bit of advice which you gave, every minute of this interaction is very important. But the way you explained the journey that people can take is really awesome. I'm pretty sure it might not have been easy for you, because whenever people have got at home, somebody who is an entrepreneur, then the natural tendency is to have the second person who is working, so that both can support each other.
Balance it off. Yeah.
And the second situation is when there is just one breadwinner for the family. I think both the cases is equally challenging. Nobody wants to come out of comfort zone. That's the biggest step which people take. And you've done it once again. Congratulations, Shyam. Keep on doing the great job which you are doing, and keep on inspiring people. And of course, I'll get some people, whoever comes and asks me how to make a headway, I'll say, talk to the person who knows how to burn the bridge and how to burn the code, and I'll get them across to you. Maybe both of us can work together and we can do something. Very nice. Thank you so much. Amazing talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Pleasure.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.